internet. I'm sorry. I've been trying to calm down for a few seconds. I can't.
Serious professional face, Mike. Serious professional. We haven't been warming up by trading stories that we probably should have put on the podcast.
But yes, normal introduction. Hello and welcome to the Tech Off Topic podcast. I am Mike Elsmore and this is Jim Seconde.
Hello, and also hi to, in case she is watching, hi to Mike's mum. She'll probably retweet the podcast going out.
And now we know why I was losing my nuts because of Jim. Thanks very much.
It's great when boomer generations find out how like social media works. Of yes, my son's on the internet doing the twitching. So that was a very strange. I don't know what that was.
You said doing the twitch.
No, but it was the twitching that happened was quite unusual. Like it wasn't sort of a standard twitch.
What the hell's a standard twitch when it's at home?
I'll tell you, a good standard twitch is. I was speaking to if he's listening, then he's going to get. I was going to say he'll get grumpy, but I don't think he will. But Andy Jones told me when on Monday when we were sitting at work here, he said, "Have you?" Sun was up at 5 a.m. this morning, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I know how that feels." Do you know when you get the eye thing, when your eyelid just starts twitching? He's like, "I've got that," and I said, "Yeah, I know what you mean." When you're so tired, you're not a parent, so you don't know this by choice, which is probably a sensible decision.
No, but I am an idiot with insomnia, so I only have 4 to 6 hours of sleep anyway.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
Yes, I do get it when your eye
just goes like, yeah, it's your one eyelid is just having its own party of like, yeah, let's have a little twitch. Like,
am I attempting to wink at something, or is something going horribly wrong in my nervous system? I don't know.
Yeah. This was a great intro, wasn't it?
To be fair, we don't do great intros.
Not really. There's the whole selling point, really, if there is a selling point, indeed.
The whole enjoying point for us.
It's just silliness. Is there anyone actually in the chat room?
Yes, but nobody's saying anything yet because that's how the internet works, lurking for the win.
You first. Who's going to send the first emoji of the octopus thing?
Crud. Thanks for reminding me. I need to turn that off before somebody gets salty at me.
Oh,
every time.
We have like a special points system at Vonage that if at work where we're supposed to record all the meetings for async, right? If my director doesn't actually click the record button for the meeting, whoever reminds him in time that he needs to click record gets like bonus points. And it is just an absolute goldmine for getting points. Everyone's like, he hasn't said the thing. You need to hit the record button. Yay, free karma points.
Ladies and gentlemen, definitions, first world problems.
Yeah, definitely first world problems. But it's they're at least they're amusing first world problems. Unlike we've had some episodes that have been fairly dark.
True.
And that's one of the things we were discussing earlier was trying to find like fun stuff in tech to talk about. It's sometimes quite difficult.
Yeah.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I found like some. I want you to get. I think.
I'm waiting for who's going first.
I want you to. Mike was.
Guess what happened?
Mike was lazy, and he put like a couple in, and then I put in like loads, and I was like, come on. Having said that, as people might expect, the news. I was like, what am I going to talk about in Tech Off Topic? Nothing's happened, and then just like that, in the space of 24 hours. 2 sort of major boo-boos landed. And I was like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah. Actually, I put the big one, the one that started this week of the shit show of tech, I put in the thing first.
You did? That's true.
Also, there's a topic in there that I wanted to put in there for a happy one that I actually have now a thing to display for it.
That's why you put it in.
No, okay. That I put in on Wednesday. I only got that yesterday. My internet died in my flat, so I had to go work from Basingstoke.
Had to go and work from Basingstoke. I mean, really is the kind of the life of Riley you've got, isn't it? Talking of first world problems, Basingstoke, or as I've always known it in my whole life, is Amazing Stoke.
Basingstoke for me.
What did you say? Basingstoke.
Basingstoke.
Braising steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cheap cuts. Do you want to go? Do you want to pick? And I think you should probably save the happy stuff for the and finally story.
Yes, I am going to think. I'm going to start with the one that started all of the shit show for this week.
Oh, I mean, this is a logical one because we spoke about it in the last podcast, right?
Yeah, and and the word horrible thing is, it's been redacted, so we actually have nothing to point out, which is
but but we do because I'm going to find a screenshot of it.
Yeah, it's going to be there on the internet.
Of
After
course.
that toxicity. And if you haven't realized yet, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Oven Company. And I don't mean Hotpoint. The company Oven SH, who was being formed around Bun.js. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about Bun.js because of the fact they'd been making a whole storm about being ridiculously performant in comparison to Node.js, V8, Chat, and the Chakra engines as a runtime for Node. But you know what? It's great to have more choice in the runtime world. Java's been doing it for years. Python, PHP, all of them have got multiple runtimes. It's great. And then they go and do this. Jim's currently trying to find a picture of it.
I'm trying to find the tweet. So, for anyone listening last time, obviously, Mike's just explained it, but I didn't expect sort of things to accelerate as quickly as they did. But suddenly, it was a case for the Bun SH people. Are the settings okay?
Yep.
Good. That they were sitting on the fastest JavaScript runtime that had been built. So you think, okay, well, with an open source implementation, what do we do next? So the answer is we make a company of this, right?
Right, now that's not technically the worst thing.
No.
NPM did this as well.
That's what NPM actually came to mind of open source stuff of yes, but we now should build a business. Oh no, you haven't spoken to anybody about how to. Gatsby did this a bit as well. Yeah. If you have at that point, surely you have to get consultants in of right, we need to make this we need to have a strategy, a business strategy of how to build out this product.
We need to business this.
We need to stonks this. And yeah, they didn't stonks it. What they did is they went on this kind of they did it. I think there's about 5 or 6 tweets. I'm still trying to find a screenshot of the one that everybody went the one that everyone noticed, and it was real straight up Silicon Valley tech bro. If you expect, we need someone. Okay, we need someone to develop. We need our first hire for this. Okay, we'll be honest with you. It's going to be a massive grind, and if work-life balance is something that you're interested in, because apparently some people aren't interested in work-life balance, then this probably isn't for you. And all of the subtext was, even though we've raised $7 million in funding to build this out, we want one person to crack the whip hats and be a code monkey until they're crying at 3:00 in the morning and production is busted. Yep, that's basically what it was. You're like, really? This is what you're going to do?
Yeah, and the other one was oh yeah, you're going to be joining a JavaScript company, but you're not going to be writing JavaScript.
I did see that. That was quite interesting. What was Zippy?
Zippy is it's a low-level fundamentals language, designed to be like Lisp but newer and rusty.
Less brackets everywhere. That's basically Lisp is just. I've written some Lisp. Here are some curly braces. Lots of them.
Many. But yeah, so it's if you don't know it, you're gonna have to learn quick. That's a healthy mindset to have.
Yeah, it was really it was just it had all of every single red flag you could possibly think of for a company that have landed like a silver bullet of hold on, we've got a product that will be really, really good here. And then they just fudged it all up. And the worst thing is, because I'm still looking for it, is that they deleted the whole thing after realizing their boo-boo.
Yeah, but it took them 5 days to realize their boo-boo.
Yeah, I mean, the backlash must have been pretty bad, right?
Horrendous. To be fair, my mum's also liked the tweet.
I wonder if I can. I don't think I can get my mum to watch this. I don't think she'd know what I mean. It would just be 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, blah blah, cabbage.
Melon.
Yeah, this speaking in nonsense. A bit like AWS products, really.
Has there been anything? No, there's not been any AWS junk in the mail recently. So, mail in the junk. No, yeah, junk in the mail. Have I got my words phrases right?
I'm not going to find.
You're not going to find it. But this tweet thread, this Twitter thread, was what 15 messages long.
It's about that. Like, yes, it's quite long.
And the only good thing to come out of it was they went, "Yeah, we have money to do a good job." Everything else, horrible.
It was real. There was real sort of. There was like each tweet contained a.
Yeah.
And, anyway, that was. So that was bun. I mean, is there really much else to say with it? I mean, maybe they've acknowledged their mistake, so that's fine.
They haven't acknowledged their mistake. They've just tried and hidden it from
They've
the internet.
disappeared. That's true. They've just.
If we go to Reddit and look hard enough, we'll find it again.
and like that, they're gone.
Terrible references.
That's not a terrible reference. Come on, everyone knows what that is. And if you don't, it's not. This is not really an in-joke, is it? Although, having said that, earlier a conversation happened about there's a sort of a Gen. This one of the office managers here is a Gen Z, and it was not When Harry Met Sally. It was some other film from the late 90s, and they were like they'd never heard of it. And I just thought this is it, isn't it? I'm about a year from moaning about small children on my lawn.
Oh my god, am I going to be able to get away with a Kid Rock reference?
Kid Rock? Oh, blimey, that takes me back. Throw it out there.
No, it's not going to work yet.
No, to try and wake up the chat room.
Well, they've posted in chat. And Finite's actually given me one, which is my wacky tech news of the week. When Excel Word's assumption that everything in datetime goes wrong, the instructions from a power bank. And I've just looked at it, and I'm going to drop the image into the doc so that Jim can see it.
Oh,
it's literally. Oh, yeah, no.
I don't think I put this into the schedule last time we did a podcast, but you've just said the magic words Excel, and I think I was going to.
Oh, is this the meme about the Excel sport thing?
Yeah. So, did you know, ladies and gentlemen? Because if you didn't know, now is the time. There are National Excel World Championships. It's called the Microsoft Excel World Championship. There's an article in here from Tech Radar about it, and it's broadcast on ESPN worldwide.
I thought that was a troll. I didn't realize that was
real.
No,
it's real. It's real. And I don't know what they're doing. They're doing VLOOKUPs really quickly. Apparently, I've never seen any footage of it, but apparently it's absolutely unbelievable. It's like, when you see sort of not first-person stuff, but like esports stuff with things like StarCraft 2.
StarCraft League of Legends, where literally macro keyboard.
Yeah, where they're like this, where they're just doing and I just think it took me like 2 hours to work out what build more pylons meant. And meanwhile, there's this South Korean kid going. Apparently, it's like that. Like they're just like Excel macroing so quickly with maths things that you got. I probably should watch it.
Pardon? My brain is just going like, who are ESPN? ESPN?
ESPN.
ESPN.
You don't know who ESPN are?
No, it's ESPN. That's the number on the back of the book.
The sports people.
ESPN. Sorry.
Sports ball.
Who at the sports ball televising company thought that Excel?
I hadn't even considered this. There's someone in a boardroom in New York City at the top of a tower going, "Okay, you know what? I got a new hit for you. I got a new hit. It's Excel, Microsoft Excel. You know the thing."
We've all heard about football. We have obscure stuff like Gaelic football. The new hotness has got to be office managers and Excel.
Can you imagine that if it was like one like executive in a boardroom going like, "Okay, guys, let me tell you about something. I'm gonna tell you, and you're not gonna like it, but it's gonna be a hit."
You've done that impression before, haven't you?
Probably. I normally do it with my sort of like 1930s impressions of like American press men. You know, when something happens in a sort of a 30s or 40s film. Hey, give me the switchboard. Let me tell you something. Stop press. You know, it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, you'd have a trilby with a feather. Well,
Let me tell you, I'm going to make you a star in this city. That kind of thing. Anyway, I'm glad that I remembered about the World Excel Championships because otherwise I would have forgotten.
Again,
yeah.
Okay. Does that mean it's my turn to pick another topic as well? Because you've technically dropped Excel in.
I mean, well, yeah.
Skip the list.
I suppose it does, doesn't it?
Okay. What this thing's been used as a What the hell is this Bored Ape thing?
I just put that in as filler. It's whenever the phrase Bored Ape comes in, you just think, oh no.
Oh no, it's NFTs. We're not doing that.
Should we just get rid of that?
Yeah, I'm not bringing you and NFTs back together again. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a half-hour introduction to a meetup for this. I exaggerate.
We'll delete it off there because NFTs and whatever they're doing in Web3 is almost just so boring. It's not even sort of worth talking about or funny anymore. So we'll get rid of that.
Okay, how about this one? The one from John Carmack.
Oh yeah. I
haven't read this one yet.
I haven't. I'll be honest. I've not actually read it. This is a thread that's got put. It's one of those sort of top of Hacker News, and it was on Reddit programming. And John Carmack, the founder of ID Software, posted some sort of engineering-y insight about like everyone expects you to be a genius, but I'm just a person just doing development like anybody else, right? I think the thing that freaks me out the most, and the only reason why I've put it in there, is John Carmack is at Meta because he's exactly like him and John Romero, the kind of godfathers of the first person shooting. Yeah, he's at Meta because of Oculus Rift. What does he do there? Is he just a generic executive?
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a.
No, he's a consultant CTO for them.
Well, I mean, a consultant CTO is a CTO. That's a CTO, isn't it? You know, it's not like he's just sort of doing a Nick Clegg and pitching up now.
Currently, according to Google, chief technical officer of Oculus VR, and I'm just going. That's a long way away from ID Software, what were their original? Weren't they one of the groups behind the original Doom?
It is Doom, yeah.
Yeah, it's Doom.
Yeah, Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake.
Yeah. Everything that wasn't Unreal, essentially.
Which Unreal was created. So, I mean, John Carmack he's one of those kind of wizard developers.
Yeah.
And I remember an interview with him about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was about they were doing classic Game Crunch, but doing it for sort of when it was a bit more fun rather than Rockstar Games sort of cracking the whip until 5 o'clock in the morning, because they had ownership of their game that they were making and they had a publisher and things like that. But John Carmack said to John Romero at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I've just realised it's like the light bulb moment. I know what this needs. This needs multiplayer. We need multiplayer. We need it over Ethernet. And John Romero is like, I can make it happen. No, what do you mean you can't make it happen? Yeah, just leave me. What do you mean just leave me? Just leave me. Just go home. and they all went home and left John Romero in his office. And they came back in the morning and he's still there at 8 o'clock in the morning. He's like, okay, everyone, sit down. I got something to show you. And he's done first-person Ethernet networking to do a multiplayer game overnight through a DOS game.
For a DOS game without any actual server infrastructure, it's using that wonderful.
Just
the
stream,
game is
just
hosting
streams.
The streams. Yeah,
it's such a shame that he went from that. And unfortunately, events like that made him eventually do the John Romero's going to make you his bitch, which
Oh.
is like for what was it, Daikatana?
God.
Like the worst ever marketing thing ever. Like, did you talk to anybody before putting these adverts out? No, that was embarrassing.
We are being corrected.
Oh no! What have I got something wrong?
No, we have got something wrong.
Oh no!
Because we are using the Queen's English. And when you see capitals, you see I and D, two separate letters. So we in the Queen's English will normally pronounce that as ID.
I've always called it ID software. What is it?
Id, as in ego, id.
That's a great today I learned.
It's like,
I've always called it ID software.
yeah, so have I, because it's always been like
It was
capital
it's an ID.
ID.
When you say it's capitals, it's not though. The logo was always in lowercase. But if you see two lowercase letters like you're not going to say id, it's ID, isn't it? There you go.
Crap.
Britishers getting things
Schooled
wrong.
on English. The English getting schooled on English. To be fair, this is nothing new. Remember, I am the person who failed an English test
How old? Like last
18
week.
months ago.
What was an English test for? What?
Emigrating?
You what to Canada?
Yeah.
So the Canadian's like, oh, okay, can you speak English? And you're like,
Nope. Passed the writing, passed the written, passed the reading, failed the comprehension test.
You can't speak so good.
The English good, yeah.
You have not told me about that, and I'm glad we do these podcasts because you wouldn't have told me otherwise. Because this is going to result in much japes later.
Oh, sugars, what have I undone? I thought I told you.
So I found out that I'm doing a podcast with someone that can't understand English. That's fantastic. That's John Carmack. I do not
have magical discipline and focusing ability. I struggle with distraction like everyone else. Often it is better to just remove the option to distract yourself instead of fighting urges. I'm going with the urges. See, I can do it.
This is a very, very long-winded chat post.
When I decided to get serious about my AI work, I made a few changes. And then his thread goes on. That was me reading out the actual
Oh, it's
tweet.
the post. Okay.
And my brain is just going, do not have a magical discipline and focusing ability. Who does?
Zuck does.
No,
because he wears the same hoodie every day.
Like, okay, so there is a point in ADD and ADHD which is hyperfixation. So the ability to focus in on something really, really strong and get it done. That is unfortunately entirely out of the control of the person suffering from ADD and ADHD because they literally follow the dopamine with it. So they can only hyperfixate on the thing that is providing dopamine, which may not be the thing they actually need to do. And then there's the rest of us who are just flipping magpies. They go, ooh, shiny window.
That's more like me. It's become. I think either people that identify who have been diagnosed with it, or that people that people are either diagnosed with it or suspect of it, and they have tests and things. In engineering, ADHD, I'm seeing a lot more. It's a lot more sort of prevalent in the industry, which is probably not surprising.
More than anything.
I guess for something like game development, when it's crunch time, when it's this hyper focus on something, but then again, yeah, well, like you said, I mean, it's okay if someone's focused on that particular thing, but also it's not like, oh, you have a special gift. You're like, you do realize this is a problem. So
have you seen the rest of my life?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just saying, like this Twitter thread, I'm going, John Carmack, why the hell are you Meta?
The blood money.
I have officially 1 day a week at Meta for a couple of years now.
Sorry, on the. I mean, that sounds like quite a good gig, doesn't it? That sounds like sort of UK politicians and their like non-executive directorship, where they're like, yeah, what happens is I turn up for 4 hours every year, and they pay me a wage of £30,000. It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
And lobbying is not a thing in the UK, obviously.
Talking of the meta thing, of metaverse, which I just I'm not going to ever. It sounds quite small-minded, but I'm never going to actually go into the metaverse and explore it because I'm almost a 40-year-old man that quite enjoys my real life. So I have no need for, and also I played Second Life, and it looks the same as that graphically anyway. So what's the
fox head?
So what? Zuckerberg released this like image, like this, like we've launched a new thing, guys, and it was the Eiffel Tower and something else in the background. Why are the graphics so terrible? Am I missing something? It's like the metaverse, and it's just graphics, and all of the way it looks just sort of looks like Mad Max but cartoons.
I was thinking more Max Headroom, but
Max Headroom. That introduces a great tangent where I could talk about the specific incident in Chicago where some like kids hijacked the Chicago broadcasting thing, and they broadcast like a weird Max Headroom. Did you not heard about this? It's called like the Max Headroom incident or something like that. And they managed to hijack an actual Chicago analog TV broadcast in about 1987 or something like that. And it was it was a mock Max Headroom, and it was making sort of quite juvenile jokes about like farting and things. And no one ever found out who did it. It's a complete mystery.
This just sounds like the intro part of flipping Hackers with the fight with the tapes.
I've never seen Hackers. I don't know how I've not seen it. I don't know. I've seen Swordfish. I've just not seen Hackers.
So you've seen the worst of the two really famous hacking films.
I don't know why.
Oh, God.
Oh, hello.
Lively.
I was a bit lively.
How about you?
I know the Hackers soundtrack because it's amazing. But I'm a 90s kid, and it's everything alternative in the 90s that's electronic. So that sums me up, really.
We've been told that we need to end the podcast and immediately go watch Hackers to educate you.
But what they're saying is we don't need to end the podcast. I just need to leave and you talk through the rest of the topics, right?
Please don't leave me.
Slight loneliness there. Please don't leave me. Max Headroom. If you type in Max Headroom, the first autocomplete is Max Headroom incident, which is the thing it's the signal hijacking. There you go. If you want a rabbit hole for your Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Max Headroom signal hijacking of 1987. No one ever knew who did it, but the closest that anybody came was an anonymous Reddit thread that nobody knows whether it was debunked or not. And they said that they knew the original people that did it.
Well, this is like saying I know a guy in Anonymous.
Yeah. Talking about actually, I'm the one doing all of the top topic here. Oh
no, it's fine because I was going to follow up with the Anonymous reference. I recently watched the Hunter Moore documentary on Netflix. Hunter Moore, the king of revenge porn, terrible human, from the dark parts of the early interwebs.
That rings a bell.
2011, a proper dark part of the internet. It turns out Anonymous were one of the people to take him down. And the reason this isn't a brilliant reference is so he tried launching a second revenge porn website after the first one he sold to an anti-bullying group.
So, what?
Yep. He got bought from because he was about to get screwed by the feds to get money. He sold it to a anti-bullying group for money, which closed down the first revenge porn site. I'm not giving the names of these things because they're a dark part of the internet. However, he then, because he's the cult of himself, tried starting again. Now, when this got into the public space, he and his cult threatened the people that took him down. That's not great. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a documentary about it. So Anonymous climbs in and does all the gags from the Hackers movie to him, including officially making him deceased on records, removing all of his banks, sending all of his actual money to charities. Literally, essentially, if he wasn't an evil prick, ruining his life in every way possible. But because he's an evil prick,
that's okay. Hey, it's doing something good for humanity, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's so those jokes, pranks, tactics were all done in the Hackers movie, which was 1994, 1995. Somebody in the chat will correct me about this.
But I think it's 95, isn't it, or something?
No, because it actually went to case in 2013 when he was going to do it. Nearly a decade later, someone uses literally the same plot line to ruin a man's life.
That's genius.
That's
just brilliant. Talking
tangentials.
I had a good. So the other thing about Hackers, I was thinking I've never known anybody like this, and then it turns out that I did. I say no. I mean, I worked with someone, and they were employed at a company I was at, and they were not incredibly antisocial. Really difficult to work with, didn't really understand people, didn't really turn up to work, so didn't last long. And then they got sacked. So none of this was really surprising. And it found out years later, they took down PayPal for about 5 days. And I was like, sorry?
Pardon?
Yeah, they took down PayPal for 5 days. And there was a whole court case or so, but because they were a minor at the time, they couldn't they weren't prosecuted. And I was like, oh, that explains a lot.
You lucky duck.
Yeah, so that was kind of surprising.
How's the Phoenix down?
I'll tell you what. People that can take down PayPal for 5 days, I'll tell you what, don't make very good commercial software developers.
Would be great as a speaker at DEF CON. I do not want him writing my WordPress plugin.
Isn't DEF CON the one where it's impossible to get banned, even there was that one bloke that got banned?
It's a dark place, but it's also really bloody interesting.
This doesn't sound like my thing, really.
Do you mind pass me the funky coloured can?
Pass me the funky coloured can, and with that, maybe really in terms of metrics for the podcast, we should Mike's spilling beer on himself. Metrics for the podcast, what we should do is try and make it that we go off tangent as much as possible so that we don't actually get any of the agenda done.
To be fair, we've only done 2 topics on the agenda and we've gone very tangential in half an hour.
We've reached our targets. If the targets involve me doing more silly accents, then the more the merrier.
To be fair, I have an entire redemption on Twitch, which is terrible accent. Will they have to give me a line and accent to do it in?
Oh, can we do one now?
No.
I think the chat room should just put an accent.
I've turned them off, so I can't.
That's like we don't like Trump with testing and stuff. Like the COVID numbers aren't increasing. Why is that happening? Because we've stopped testing. Numbers aren't going to go up if you're not testing people. Gonna turn off the chat room. Can't see what's going on.
Haven't turned off the chat room, just the channel points, because otherwise they'll get shirty about the Kraken thing.
Can I? Oh, the Can I see if someone suggested an accent to do?
No, because the last one was Scouse.
Oh, Scouse is easy. It's when you get to like.
Because literally, I can only say one phrase, and I can't even tell if it's Scouse or Mancunian. And it's packet crisps and can of Coke. That's all I can say.
Sorry.
Tangents.
Are you gonna do it?
No.
Come on, you've got to now.
No.
You've got to.
It's not as fun unless it's natural. Anyway,
this is very I'm not a performing monkey. It's like when my mum asks me to do impressions.
If you want about monkeys, I'll put the Bored Ape on.
No, that's not, we agreed no NFT stuff.
All right, how about we do the GitHub City one? Because that's one well, actually no, you pick. We've got time.
You pick. How about you pick the GitHub Cities one? This is a bit boring, but also I can go off a tangent about how great SimCity was and then how rubbish it was. This is a really I want to have a look at the author of this. This is a GitHub repo. I expect it's written probably in pure JS, and it's just the fun timeline cleanser that you want for your day. It takes your GitHub contribution graph and it turns it into a little SimCity.
You know the horrible thing? I like this.
That's great. What do you mean it's horrible? The horrible thing is I like this.
Well, no, because I saw you post that in the thing. I was like, oh God's sake, this is going to be like those shitty 3D printed ones.
It was just
this is quite cute and just like
There's a little. It's by the beach as well, so there's little boats going past, and then you've got your little skyscrapers for, when you've done good open source things. I like it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, mine looks quite active this year, but you know why that is? That's for none of the stuff I've done for work.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it?
The last 2 companies I've worked at, all that work's been on GitLab.
Oh, okay. So what you've got is like barren desert suburbia, and then
The days I've been streaming,
and then Dubai.
But actually, isn't that Dubai? Dubai, nothing.
Oh, desert, and
civilization. That's not Dubai.
I went on a massive kind of rant about how I absolutely hate Dubai recently, and it just
that was on Monday.
It was on Monday, yeah. It's just like I
make Hannah hate Dubai even more. And Andy's just sat there going, "I'm still going.
I'm going to Dubai. What's there? Well, you can only drink in the hotel rooms, but it's great. Right, okay. Can you be gay? No. Okay.
We had Tom Goodman with us at that time.
We did, and who was it that said, "Why can't you go there?"
Hannah, because she didn't realise.
It's like, oh, you do realise that it's not legal to. You can, but what did Tom say? He said, if you want to go to Dubai and you're gay, you can get a company to look out for you.
No, he was invited by the university because they have a partnership. University of Birmingham has a partnership in Dubai for some of the education stuff. Quite a few universities have it. Reading and have one in Hong Kong. Blah 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 blah. So they have a satellite university thing there to encourage foreign students to go over. So he was being invited because of that, the interesting work he'd done and mathematical modeling in his PhD, to go and talk over there and encourage people to engage. But for him to go because of, I don't know, am I allowed to say it?
Well, being gay.
Yeah, because Tom's gay.
This is not. We're not outing him.
No. I always feel bad because that's somebody else's choice to say that stuff.
I see that, but
yeah, but no. So Tom's gay, which means for him to go there. Oh, don't worry, we have essentially a private extraction team for you if they come to arrest you. If they have to have an extraction team, I'm not going. Which is Tom's very sensible approach to this.
I would say if someone told me that, I'd think, do you know what? I could do without my own private extraction team. That sounds like more trouble than it's worth.
To be fair, though, don't you just want to be in the assets saved by Jason Bourne once?
I just don't think it's worth it. Just so you could just make like, oh yeah, do you know like last chopper out of Saigon? Yeah, I did that because I posted a tweet on there and the Dubai people got very upset, and then suddenly the chopper arrived and I got
get to the chopper.
Go to the chopper.
Oh God, the last Predator movie where they did that, but it was a line of chopper bikes.
I don't think I saw. I think I've only seen the first Predator, actually, possibly.
You should watch Predator, which is the one with Adrian Brody.
But should I really, though? But should I really? Why?
Because watching Lawrence Fishburne and Adrian Brody be crazy is flipping brilliant.
Actually, I think you've sold it. That sounds quite fun.
It's like Adrian Brody, the man with the nose who can do many characters. And then Lawrence Fishburne, who is Lawrence Fishburne or crazy.
Lawrence Fishburne and what's his name? That other actor that always gets mixed up with him. He was the one. He was John Carfrey in The Green Mile. Him.
Oh,
Michael, not Ving Rhames.
No, Clark Michael Duncan.
That game. Yeah. I was going to say Ving Rhames. There's even a Family Guy joke about that's not that. No, that's not. For the last time, what's it say for the last time? Why I'm not Lawrence Fishburne by Ving Rhames.
Jesus. Oh, he did pass away. No,
you did.
Clark Michael Duncan. He's passed away.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Halifax.
Well, that's just ruined everything.
It's not ruined everything.
There've been a couple of others like that recently.
I don't say this is like 2018, the year that everybody died.
Yeah. There was one. It was just like it was one of those moments that with my wife in the living room, we're sitting going, hang on a minute, are they dead? Oh yeah, they are. Oh wow, yeah, no, I forgot about that.
Sad.
It's a bit sad. But on getting celebrities mixed up, one thing I did find incredibly funny in the beginning of this week is
Zuckerberg and the lizard.
So stop trying to take it back to Tech Night. It's Joe Lycett, the British comedian Joe Lycett, put out a poster campaign for his latest tour, and he put Joe Pasquale's a picture of Joe Pasquale on it, calling it the world tour.
Squeaky Man.
Yes. Didn't explain it and just left it, and obviously it's created a massive viral thing of you've made a mistake. Have I though?
For those of you unaware, Joe Pasquale is a comedian, technically. Well, a comedic actor, I believe.
Debatable.
Who is only famous for essentially playing women's roles in pantomimes and being a really annoying, squeaky character on panel television.
Oh, he was the voice of Milky Way Magic Stars as well.
Milky Way Magic Stars.
It was so painful. There was some other thing. He's got a sort of a Paul bloke's got a comedy accent, hasn't he? Well, he's got a strong kind of Essexy accent, and also he's very squeaky.
Yeah, it's listen to David Beckham. I like these ones.
Oh, yeah.
I like those ones.
David Beckham. Oh yeah, we had a good game, but the referee kind of take it away from us.
Oh, right.
David Beckham was like, "Where's my mummy?" Jesus.
You're a big come on, David. You're a big boy now. Don't need your mummy.
I should have said, "Where's Vicky?" I need my mummy.
So this is going to be the football men. So you won't know this, but
I don't know football.
You don't know the sports ball people, but so this footballer for playing for Southampton. This is about 4 years ago, so this is nothing new. He just the referee had given a penalty to the other sports ball people or something, and it swung the match. So so when they interviewed him afterwards, he was absolutely livid. He went absolutely mad. No, it's done right. I don't even understand it. The ref's giving it away, right? And he's done it in there. And apparently, ruined the match, right? And someone did it like a TikTok style video where they did that. It's he's ruined it. Park life.
My brain went to someone else. It's like those skiers, and he did this whoopah, and it drops down and poofa. It's like what?
Oh, and on that front, also someone else did a similar edit where there's a British children's TV character called Mr. Tumble, which is someone called Justin Fletcher, I think, and someone posted on TikTok cigarettes and alcohol, Mr. Tumble featuring Oasis, and it's him at Bestival, Camp Bestival or something like that, and they've just dubbed over cigarettes and alcohol. So he's there, Mr. Tumble in his silly outfit thing, doing his some of his little ditties for the kids, and all the kids are all raving. But yeah, there's Oasis over the top of it.
I actually have some really immediate news, which I don't know how I feel about.
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press, as in.
We haven't even gotten to Heroku yet, and it's we've got 15 minutes.
Oh, good point. No, this one I just want to do because it's literally just popped up. Capital One joins the Open Source Security Foundation.
That is not something I would have expected.
Yeah, exactly. Big, technically evil bank is now joining it. My brain's just going, is that so they know where all the problems are, or because they have lots of money they need to protect? And I don't know which it is.
Why? What? I don't. Well, it might just be for sort of skunkworks project type things where they just want to just get involved.
I know they used to be in the UK, but that was for hiring. We're huge into the hackathon and conference scenes, be everywhere so they can actually hire people.
Actually, I didn't think about it. So their HQ in the UK is based in Nottingham, isn't it? I think.
Yes.
And yes, because I've seen them. I've even got some Capital One socks. One of the only banks I've seen that have actually done developer outreach. So they know somebody knows what they're doing somewhere. That's kind of interesting.
Okay, but yeah, so you're right, because this one could take us the entire 50 minutes, followed by something fun for the end.
I'm going to do. I've already got my thing lined up for the end for something fun. That's just weird.
We've done plenty of fun and weird. To be honest.
Well, we've got to keep on going with it. We've got the elephant in the room is Heroku, isn't it? Really?
We've done Bun. We've got to do Heroku.
I think it was about 5 years ago that you said to me to one of our first conversations where you said, Yeah, Salesforce. They're gonna let Heroku rot, and then they're gonna take away the free tier.
I'm pretty sure we had that conversation, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's happened.
Well, you know the weird thing. So I was looking at this. So I have been using Heroku since the beginning of 2013. Like I'm pretty much granddaddy Heroku person.
Black belt Heroku ninja.
A gentleman who was one of the early DevRels called John Stevenson got Heroku in front of everybody by literally just going, well, you can spin up a couple of instances, and as long as you don't hammer it, it's free for essentially forever.
Swiss Army knife demos,
yeah,
etc.
So it got in front for me, who was just becoming going to hackathons and then becoming DevRel. It became like the holy grail of being able to push low infrastructure, quick code out. So I've been using it for flipping for a decade essentially. Like I in 2018. My ex-wife's grandmother got scammed. So I built an intermediary telephone system on Twilio, sorry.
Just mutter the product used. I'm not going to take offense at that.
Well, that's because it was before Vonage became a huge deal. Was to act as a middleman for her telephone line. So that if her number got leaked again, because she got phished with personal information.
Yeah.
So like
the darknet stuff where they sort of exchange hands of vulnerable phone numbers.
Instead, we got her a new telephone number, and I built an intermediary with a screening system, so her mother could validate everything to stop her getting scammed again, because she was scammed for a not insignificant amount of money.
Okay.
And it's like, okay. And that's been working on Heroku. It's still working today, and I haven't had to update the code in 2 years.
That's what their selling point of their free tier. Because the free tier in AWS was limited. It's still limited to a year.
Still limited to a year,
and it's not really. You have to do the cloud guru stuff if you want to learn and experiment and stuff, really. So, one of the things that I found really interesting about this, apart from the decision, is just bonkers. Is if it's a small, like if Netlify did it now, like if they said, right, that's it, you can't do this stuff for free, you'd at least go, okay, it's probably because you have tight margins, it's probably because you're hosting a lot of free stuff and it's costing a lot of money. That's fine.
That's not what
but not Heroku. You've got the might of like one of the biggest tech firms in the world behind you. It's like, did you really need to do that? That seems a bit short.
One of their things was like, we just want to support critical support excellence.
What does that mean? Does it mean anything?
No, because when you pay for their enterprise grade. So when I was working at Pact, we used Heroku for some of the smaller, lightweight machines that we didn't want to have to do operations on, because why pay for operations for stuff you don't need to care about? So we were paying the money. The free tier and that, you know what the difference was? Nothing. Literally, it was like reserved Dino instance. That was it. It was like going to DigitalOcean, just having a dedicated box. You got this. So that meant the free stuff was getting the same support. Like, okay, if they're going to kill it, like, we're going to have to limit the amount of access you have to it. We're going to have to throttle it. It's like, reduce the cost, but just going like, we're going to support excellence.
It doesn't make sense to me at all. Killing the free tier like this doesn't make sense at all. And there was like from the UK perspective, there was something I didn't know about, and it just kind of someone said, "Oh yeah, by the way, this
the Brumtech thing."
The gov.uk prototype kit recommends publishing on the web with Heroku, which means that loads of prototype government initiatives for proof of concept things that have probably actually are being used.
The prototype never made it.
The prototype that is now longer as being used in production, but no one actually made it like production hardened.
But
are all running on the.
Why do we need to bother with
that? So I think that's going to be like. Yeah, I think Salesforce are just going to like write an invoice out to the British government for suddenly a large amount of money. That's not going to be good.
It depends. If any of them know Rishi, they'll be fine.
Oh yeah, mates of mates.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, no. Let's not go down that rabbit hole of Muppets. So
we've got 2 of those here.
So I don't know whether but then you've got the what's the thing about the Reddit kind of phenomenon when someone posts a website and then because everyone goes to it, it takes the whole thing down. There's a phrase for it. I can't remember.
Oh god, yeah, but it's happened to Humble Bundle and like
yes, yeah, infamously for every single time a Humble Bundle comes up.
This is a really good one.
But suddenly the traffic's like, what? I can't deal with this. This is gonna. I think this is gonna happen to Netlify. I think suddenly everyone's just gonna unplug their stuff and attempt to like, if it's within Jamstacky stuff, right? Are gonna try and plug it into Netlify, and then Netlify are gonna go, yeah, we've got to provision like a lot more stuff now.
Don't get me started on Netlify.
Oh, okay. Those are in this scenario, in this battle, they're the goodies.
Oh yeah, no.
So
it's I currently hate their implementation of functional systems.
I think that's just a complaint about how it works. That's rather than the goodies and baddies.
No, that just caused. It's because it caused me 2 weeks of headache on stream trying to make a background function.
But
because we don't have that, but it's on all our documentation.
But the point of streams is when you're learning in public, so that's going to happen, isn't it?
Well, I'm getting trolled in public as far as I can tell, but yes.
Well, yes, but then also that's your choice to just allow yourself to be trolled in public, isn't it?
I'm being trolled in a meeting room in Birmingham City Centre.
That's true. It's also you invited me onto this thing.
No, we had this idea together. Don't say that. Actually, no, I had the idea. Then I dragged your ass into it.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I can't argue that.
But yeah, no, I'm slightly worried with the Heroku thing because Heroku became so synonymous because of how easy it was to use. Like the build pack system became
the whole one-click deploy stuff and build packs and things like that, right?
There isn't anything like that anymore that is so utilitarian, so useful at that level. So you've got Jamstack. So yes, you can hook up an application to a GitHub and you've got, if it's a pre-built Jamstack, it's there.
There isn't like randomly deploy your Django app via.
No, because there's a thing called Railway, another one called Render. They're both horrible to use, and they're meant to be Python specialists.
Also, one of the thoughts about this is that we already have problems trying to onboard juniors into the DevOps process because to do your learning and messing around on proof of concept applications, you don't really want to have to put 200 quid aside in order to play with some tooling, do you? That's not fun. Heroku is one of those open ones where it's like, don't do it in AWS, but for some proof of like to as a portfolio thing to show you can do something, do it on Heroku. Now you can't do it on Heroku. So the options are just getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah, the horrible, we've just had dropped into the chat, Fly.io and DigitalOcean, because they do have their app services and functional services, which is great. But you can't play with those without immediately coughing up not insignificant amounts of money if you're playing. Like if you're a student or somebody's literally just started a new job and you're literally having to learn a whole bunch of concepts for a new job, how many people have a spare rack sitting around in the back of their office where they can play with it? Throwing $100 a month at something to learn.
It's quite worrying in a way, and it's not. I'm not trying to be sort of like alarmist about things or trying to be a bit over the top, but it does make me feel that cloud native stuff, like learning as somebody doing DevOps in cloud native, is gradually just getting more and more sort of first world money, and that this is completely inaccessible.
How do you feel about learning this? Do you have a 8-core CPU laptop at home? Pardon me, what? I've got a Chromebook, mate.
Yeah, there is.
Actually, do you not remember those days for you?
Hmm?
When you were attempting to do your home learning on Chromebook.
Yeah, no, that didn't go well.
No.
Well, actually, I had Crouton on the Chromebook, so that meant that it was doing chroot. So I actually installed Symfony and then used the front end of Vue.js, I think. and
Huh.
it worked, but it was a faff. I had one of the Ubuntu distributions, but the light one, like XFCE or something like that, and it worked kind of all right. It was a bit of a faff though.
People are making a joke about FARC, FARK, from back into deer, and it's like, it's like many things. It's let off in the back of the fields. It's like,
What's FARC? What do you mean back?
I weirdly enough, this is a lot of Americans, and I don't know what FARC is.
This looks very.
It's eBaum's World.
Yeah, I was about to say this looks like Craigslist or eBaum's World or stuff like that.
Let's not go into that because that could possibly be very dangerous for us.
This is a code of conduct violations.
We don't have a code of conduct.
I knew you were going to say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
We don't have a code of conduct beyond keeping things reasonable.
I mean, I was doing bad impressions of Italians last time, so that's not reasonable, is it?
It's
really?
fine. Last time I was talking about homunculi and
that was it, homunculus, that thing. So, okay,
Italian hand.
fart. This looks like something like if I put it in the Internet Wayback Machine, it'd be really funny. Okay, I'm not going to get sucked into this rabbit hole. I think we've expended all the content we can on Heroku, right?
Well, no. I think the content, by the time we come around to doing this in 2 or so weeks' time, there will be more because the fallout will have happened. There will be the services doing one-to-one transformation, like moving things and stuff like that.
Do you think they'll reverse it?
Oh,
that would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If they reduce
turn if you want to.
Hello, Marvin.
No, Thatcher.
I was thinking Marvin the Martian.
The lady is not for turning.
That sounded like the
It's
Queen.
the Queen.
There. That's not Thatcher.
It's not iron pubes.
I've
used that nickname for Thatcher in ages.
They might. They'll be fun. I mean, it'd be funny if they U-turn.
I personally feel because they do a cold start system, which means it's not always a memory, so they can actually just leave the image just sat there doing fuck all.
First swear of the podcast.
No, third. You missed the others.
You're counting?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I personally think they're going to flip it back and reduce it down to say you may have 10 hours a week of active runtime on all of your applications, and that'll be it.
That's not a great compromise, but we'll see if that happens. We need to start putting bets down, I think. Don't we?
I should build a bot for that. For the chat. Bets for the prediction. Is it going to be my next topic?
The tech off topic predictometer.
Totally.
The micometer. The last one. The last one. I'm going to go to because we've flogged the Heroku one, and we knew we were going to do it anyway. It was a bit like this morning, and I just went, "What is this?" and really, it is. What is this? In 2001, Jamie Hewlett, I think his name was, and Damon Albarn decided to create a cartoon band where he would do the cartoons for it, and then Albarn, and then people like Dan the Automator, and is it John Paul Jones, the bloke that was in the Clash, or I can't remember what his name was, and a few others.
Why is this sounding like the Gorillas?
It is the Gorillas I'm describing. So we're going back, right? So they decided to do a virtual cartoon band. Concept was pretty cool. The later stuff, I'm not that one. But the first 2 albums or 3 albums were all absolutely amazing. So there was Dan the Automator who brought in people like Kid Koala and Del the Funky Homo Sapien. It was just like the credentials that Damon Albarn, a lot of people think, is the man from Blur, but actually his musical knowledge is sort of exceptional.
Like Matt Bellamy is like, he may be a good guitarist, but he's actually just a really good composer and actually music theorist.
I didn't know he was a music theorist, and that's quite topical because Muse have just had an album out, haven't they?
Yes, they were also about to go on tour for next year for it, I believe. He has a master's in classical music theory and has composed, I think, soundtracks for.
I didn't know this
stage
because
shows?
I think that you think that sort of like that he'd be in a band that was sort of math rocky style with things like that. But
No, so he's in just a really popular, just about predates post-hardcore sounding band.
it was like there was a couple.
That early noughties, like we're really heavy, but normal people can listen to it too.
You can go to V Festival and rock out.
Yeah.
I like going to rock festivals, and I love Muse and love My Chemical Romance, etc., etc. So anyway, the thing with Gorillaz, right? So that was the sort of virtual artist. So in the last year, a new artist has appeared, but now it's the real deal, and they're called FN Maker. Here he goes. Go straight onto the internet.
Oh, is this one? It's like,
And it's
you've got a thing for Capitol Records.
and it is. But the Capitol Records is kind of, that's who they were signed to.
Oh,
He's a virtual rapper where they took the vocals off some bloke who has just gone on YouTube to explain how he basically got completely ripped off. But it is literally a virtual rapper with AI. So the AI is generating the lyrics.
okay, so this is one step further than there's that Japanese idol.
Yes,
Miko or something.
This rings a bell, yeah.
It is.
Or we're getting into Matrix territory. It's who?
We're living in. We're all in somebody else's brain. So there's the idol who is completely 3D generated and is all pre-recorded and nice. It's a bit foamy down there.
Oh god.
So this is the extension of that, where they're taking the same principle of like call and response programming and making it more intelligent.
Intelligence is pushing it.
Is it like making it less call and response? Like you say A, we say O, sort of thing.
Not really. What they've done is they've analyzed, because of some of the way that because of especially kind of like Atlanta South trap kind of stuff in hip hop is. It just became so sort of massively mainstream, and like it's like this mumble rap thing, like Future and Quavo and people like that, where the actual musicality and the substance of it was so bad, it just was almost like anybody could do this. It's based on that. It's machine learning from that, and then taking someone's artificially synthesized voice who recorded vocals of like recorded words, and then stitching them together, and effectively, it's not call and response. It's just doing a rap of it. And you listen to it and you go, this sounds like it could be like Future or Designer or any of that. These are names that might not mean anything to you. Look them up. They're hilariously bad. But
like
that's subjective.
Gucci.
They got they did the sort of the sort of the squeaky vocoder thing going on. No, it's like and then there's like an 808 beat in the background going. And you're like, how have we got to this?
If I wanted to listen to scat, with those weird beats and
there's no surprise that like Eminem's comeback album, the first thing he did was lay into this just absolute bullshit, and it is
okay. So,
but it's based on that anyway. So you know how we've had it before, where AI things have been banned because they're like, well, if you hand them the data does not understand humans and culture. So it's been dropped from Capitol Records for basically being racist, which is a bit like, well, yeah, and the people that created it, like, yeah, that's just the data talking. I know, but it doesn't understand humans. We're more complex than that.
Oh,
no,
God, no. This is like, what is it, 2019, 2018? Where they tried doing the image recognition, and
that's one of the things.
Yeah, this is what you're literally going for with the gorilla problem.
Oh God. And there was and also there was the genderfy thing, which was if you upload a picture of a woman, you're like, yes, well, you're not going to be a doctor, are you? Well, sorry, why not? And then everyone complains and says, I think you're gender stereotyping the fact that you don't think that women are intelligent. And then all they did was they shrugged their shoulders and went, that's just the data. It's not being sexist, it's the data.
What's the
But you don't understand human beings, though. That doesn't work.
chat? You may need to fix this for me, but there is a term for this where it's data bias.
This sounds like a very data sciencey kind of
It's
term
to
thing,
make sure that you clean the data to remove biases or something. Somebody in chat may hopefully correct me.
Goodness me, if Laka or Yulia are like tune into this at some point, that beer is from Romania is marvelous.
I love it. It's a lager, but with toasted malt. It's rich and like sugary lager. It's great.
It's beer stroke coffee.
Yep.
Any corrections?
No, we've just had the data as sexist. It's like, Jesus. Well, if you get a whole bunch of blokes making data set, no.
And that wraps that up. We actually did. I think we covered. We actually ended up covering. We covered everything apart from your on about swag. So
No, I am going to end on that one. Not because I've got the swag here, but because it's something I'm actually trying to work out. So, due to our line of work and a lot of people I'm assuming who listen to our podcast.
if we have listeners,
we do. Would you like the numbers? I'll tell you those after the fact.
I almost don't want to know. I just want to pretend that it's just us in the room.
Right. So we're getting back into event season. And we're at that point where like meetups are now the norm, sponsoring meetups are the norm, but we haven't quite worked out the swag to take to meetups yet. And conference is the norm. And like just before the pandemic, there was this whole shift to eco renewables and like environmentally friendly swag that just had to be expensive. But we'd already got into a swing of working out what was viable and good and useful. I have no idea when I go to a tech conference what swag I want to get from somebody and what swag I need to take as somebody who provides swag for an event. So, like, I have a glass water bottle right now, and it's really, really nice. It's really, really pretty. But I realized I would love to hand these out, but you know the one big problem? It's a hunking great big piece of glass.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
You drop it, it's going to shatter.
That's not people. Yeah, it's not practical for a conference.
No.
You know that the answer is socks, right?
No, the problem is socks are so 2017.
That's not a real response at all. Old hat now. The bad thing there are implications for socks, which is I saw that documentary that I can't remember her name. Stephanie Dooley. She's an investigative journalist. Can't remember her name in the UK.
That's not where the book goes.
And it was about cotton. It was mainly about jeans, but it was also a lot about cotton of the amount of water, usually Bangladesh or Pakistan, that's required. And you're like, this isn't good. I mean, this is nothing particularly new, but people need to be sort of aware.
There's also chemical byproducts of attaching elastics, as in polystyrene style materials, to most cottons to make things like socks so they stretch.
I didn't even think of.
There's a whole bunch of chemical processes.
There's all sorts of just general kind of badness going on. But one of the things is that that is for water. It's the same kind of problem with Coca-Cola, specifically in South Asia, where it takes something like 10 liters of water to make a can of Coke, which it's in a country where that's fancy, in a country where water is well, in a country where water is scarce, in a country where its poor population is high, it's probably not a good idea to invite some Western countries to come in and suck up a load of your water supply. So the socks thing is like, okay, I'm going to be like PC here and say even that might not even good. But at one of the DevRel cons that I went to, Twitter did these little paper strips and they put flower seeds in them, and I love that.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I grew them. They were funky. They were. I'm trying to be awkward. They were groovy. What other sort of like they were rad. What other like 90s things can I say?
You try to sound like Tony Hawk in an interview in 1998.
Rad. Totally rad, man. They were great. I thought that was a really interesting piece of swag.
Yeah.
To do like flowers, because people like flowers,
Totally tubular, man. Pun on the tube.
No,
pants.
I get it. I get it. It was just like I was laughing at the lameness of it.
It wasn't me. It was somebody in chat. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Halifax.
So that's good swag.
But yeah, okay. It's like, yeah. I was just been thinking about it because we're going back to like event season. Like, I'm hopefully going to start attending conferences in October because all the ones in September are ones I don't give a monkeys about.
You just that sounds like you're being prejudiced.
No, as in like I don't have to go there for work, and the ones I don't want to pay my own money for. So
That's fair enough.
So October is when there are going to be conferences that I want to attend and would pay my own money to go to.
All right.
Like Tech Mids, which is free.
Plug.
Oh, we forgot to chase Hannah for an Eventbrite link.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's just been making me think of like, what swag do I actually want to get? Because like, I'm no longer interested in collecting tech swag T-shirts.
But are you not? Is this not the curse of knowledge type thing? But
this is because
context.
I'm old in the tooth.
It's because you've got a mountain of tech T-shirts and you don't need any more.
I don't have any anymore. I've got rid of them.
So
all the ones I don't have to
now
have
you need
for
them again.
employment.
Now you need them again. But if you are a very excitable 19 or 20 or 21-year-old coming into tech and suddenly T-shirts are being handed out for free, you're still going to go for it, right?
Oh, I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. I was trying to work it out. What would I want as somebody who's had, because I've been going to conferences now since 2013, and like
It's the same things that excite the socks still excite me.
I want more Griddits.
You want what?
Griddits.
What's is that real?
Vonage old school swag. They were Nexmo and Vonage at the very transitional point.
What are grillets?
It's a elastic sheet essentially with lots and lots of rubber straps that you can tie all your cables to one thing to keep them around. The other point of the cable bag, which you put in your bag when you travel.
Oh yeah,
the cable pocket.
That's very specific.
I know, but they're really good.
I have there's some stuff that I've got in a sort of useless like swag graveyard. I think one of them that would have been quite useful was the Nexmo webcam covers, and I've got about 15 of them in my drawer.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had one of those.
Yeah, they're too big though.
Yeah, they don't fit.
They don't work for modern laptops.
Correct.
You got shot
Correction for modern Macs. Normal laptops actually have a decent margin of error.
Oh yeah.
It's just the weird rubbering thing on the end of Mac screen is shite.
They're bit. What happened with the MacBook when they did the notch thing? Did that happen? when they did a notch for the MacBooks and everyone went, "What are you doing?" Have they already got rid of that?
This is a 2019 Mac and I have a 2022 No, this is a 2020 Mac and I have a 2022 Mac. And neither of them have that.
All I need to type is MacBook notch. That's how to
New
hide.
M1 still have it. Mine doesn't have it.
How to hide it? What did they do with it? Look at this propaganda piece from 2021. It's inc.com. Stop hating. The MacBook Pro notch is genius. Okay. I guess that settled that argument.
To be fair, which would you rather? A literal punch hole in your screen or a notch? Personally, here's a radical thing. I'd rather have a bezel.
I don't care.
No, I do.
I don't think I care. They're all just expensive computers that have to do a purpose, and whether there's a notch or a bezel or it's just like whatever.
This is coming from the man who hasn't bought his own laptop in a while.
I bought an Entroware in 2019.
Ah, yes, I remember this.
Oh, because originally I bought Star Labs and that didn't. I'm not going to badmouth them because this came up before, didn't it?
No, we've not covered it on this, but
okay.
The reason I know actually, this is on topic.
The point of the podcast is not to be on topic.
No, because this is on topic, off topic. Lenovo gave a cease and desist and a warning for suing the company Framework. Do you know what Framework is?
That's the chop and change bits, isn't it?
So everything is on a USB-C interface, so you can swap all the components, which is genius. because it's actually designed into the shell. So when they transitioned from 11th generation Intel chips to 12, they produced a new motherboard that you could slot in. So you literally could keep the same housing and just switch the motherboard and get a new processor, which is actually brilliant.
It's great. I love it.
And
I love
what
the whole premise of framework of how, of what they've built.
So what they did is they made it so you could 3D print a new housing for your old motherboard so it would still work. That's great, right?
Yeah.
Why send that to e-waste when you can turn it into a media PC for your TV or something?
Yeah.
Lenovo sued them for the design of the power button because they didn't want people to think it was a Legion high-end gaming laptop. It's a flipping brick with, you have to put antennas off the back of it because it's missing all the magnesium for the antenna. Who in their right mind is going to convince, oh, I 3D printed this, it's from Lenovo?
That's just painful. That's painful to listen to.
What, the accent or the
all of it? All of it. What? Oh, I don't. When it comes to these kind of intellectual property lawsuits that they're not. Well, I was going to say they're frivolous. The actual outcome of them is not the point. It's how much you're flexing.
Mm-hmm.
They're always just like, it's just, come on, just like are there any adults in the room? I'm afraid you're going to have to talk to our lawyers because your power button is like,
You're
go
loving
away.
your New
Just
Yorker
go.
accent today, aren't you?
Hey, come on, throw me a bone.
Hey, walk in here.
Get out of here.
Rocco, we're walking construction.
Like when I went to with my brother when I was 17. I've only been to New York once when I was 17, and I walked in to a deli and it was called Tony's Deli. And when we went in there, bearing in mind I was only 17 years old, and to me it was like I was walking into a film set. It was great. And a bloke came in and said, "Hey Tony, how's the missus doing? You give me the double bologna." And I was like, "This is fucking hilarious. This is not real." But I loved it.
Literally everything about that was real.
It was happening.
Well, it wasn't happening. It's like, yeah, that's Dan from around the corner.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, so we ended it on a downer, but it was an off topic and it was actually good.
it was interesting. It was interesting. I wouldn't say it was a downer.
But it's just Lenovo. Come on. Right. One, I don't know anybody who owns a Legion laptop because who's going to pay $2,000 for essentially a paperweight that's only useful for braining zombies?
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah.
I don't understand gaming laptops. I'm sorry.
No. I don't understand them either. I mean, it's I have a Steam Deck, and that is
No, I understand the Steam Deck.
that's a
understand
gaming laptop, effectively.
Desktop. I get the gaming desktop. Have one.
Gaming laptop is sort of a portable sort of 700-ton machine of
here's having the desktop that is just as heavy as a desktop, twice the price, and just as powerful.
No, yeah, I don't. Right,
Shall we do the outro bits?
yes, the same plugs as always.
No, I had an extra one.
No, okay.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the Tech Off Topic podcast, but as usual, we have a bunch of things to flog. How the heck
That
else?
sounds like we're salespeople, doesn't it?
We work in DevRel.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so first off, as we've been pitching for last 6 weeks?
How long
gotta
do they
be.
have to organise it? It was 100 days when they first started doing it,
And we've been talking about it every one since
so
then.
that probably stacks up.
Yeah. So, right, there is the tech, and I fudged the link. Excellent. There we go. It's Tech Mids Conference, which is happening 14th of October. So, 42 days away or something?
Don't ask me to do maths, please. Please, no maths.
Near but far. Near but far.
What I can say is that the lineup has now started really taking shape, and it's looking very good.
It's a tasty lineup. We've got Rebecca Cullidans from AWS, Carly Richmond from Elastic, Max Wolf. Gotta love the Max Wolf.
Max Wolf from GitLab. There's
GitLab.
Jess Rose on there.
Kunal Kushwaha, who's coming from Sivo.
Yes, who has been persuaded to move to the UK.
Now, this one is making me feel awkward because it's Ollie Stevenson's from Huel, and I don't like Huel.
Is that because you don't like the products?
I don't like the bro mentality of the company.
That sounds like we're more.
I actually like the
both-
product.
both.
I don't like the company.
Is it because you don't like the fact that they have a sign in their engineering hub in Digbeth that says "Don't be a dick"?
No, that's a license I live by. Have you? Do you not remember the DBAD license from Phil Sturgeon?
Oh yes, no, that does ring a bell. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm okay with it, and but I just don't like the bro mentality they have with their engineering. We have Jess Rose, who's Jess Rose, and
it's someone who doesn't need an introduction.
well, she doesn't need an introduction because she only works like 3 days a week. It is a personality upon herself. And then Piper Bates, who's at Bamboo Auctions, who is an ex-School of Coda.
Yes.
It's going to be a really, really interesting lineup. Next. Oh, we can't do next. We don't have a flipping Eventbrite link. Thanks, Hannah.
Next, we have Fusion. Fusion is on the 29th of September in Birmingham, and we have rather a good lineup. And I'm going to just make sure that I can get it up. Oh no, I wish I hadn't have said that. That was the wrong choice of words, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Slight childish humour just for the win.
And for both of those, for TechBids and for Fusion, they are Birmingham based. If you wish to come down in person, feel free to fly in. We will treat you like kings.
We'll show you around.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for one of the Michelin-starred restaurants, but we have 6 of them.
6.
So,
I've only been to 4.
I've only been to 3, so oh dear, I'm not stacking them up.
I don't know. I feel like that's a challenge. You've got to do the other 2. It's a pointless self-branding there. But they are, more importantly, they are virtual as well.
They are, courtesy of Mike's equipment, which was difficult to set up. I need to stop talking, don't I?
I've lost it.
This is sort of descended into sort of schoolboy humour, isn't it? Really,
it barely was above that.
yeah, I mean, I'd like to think I'm slightly better than that, but the lineup for Fusion, though, we've got Sam Allen Naylor, aka White Panther, who's going to be absolutely amazing. We've got Sani Youssef as well, doing cool DevRel stuff, or is it? But what's the belt stripe stuff? I think what's the belt stripe stuff?
I think he's doing is it DevOps stuff this time?
I'm not quite. I haven't looked at the thing of what's
yeah, and then we've got the something Connells.
Connor Watkins. Connor Watkins, and then we've got Jen Lambourne. Who's going to do a docs talk, and it's about it's refactoring even the sort of basic building blocks of how to make your README sorted. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to all of those. That's going to be quite fun.
Yep. And the last event to talk about is Hack the Midlands.
Hack the Midlands, that's true. We are back on for that.
Yep. So Hack the Midlands is happening in the end of October. Not a lot of time.
28th, is it? Or 29th?
Whatever it is, there's not enough time.
It's a brief pause.
And yeah, it's going to be it's an open hackathon available for all the ages. So if you happen to live in the UK, come down and play. Build random stuff and have fun for a weekend.
Yeah, that's in the studio in Birmingham. So in Birmingham City Centre. One of these days I will do some research when it comes to events afterwards that don't happen here, but
Yeah. And tickets are free. So go and attend. Right then, that's us done, I think.
Yeah, all done. We've gone massively over time. We've gone massively off topic.
What's new?
Yeah, well, that's the point.
Yep, great. Right, so thank you very much, everybody. I'll be back later for my usual shenanigans, and we'll have Jim back in 2 weeks-ish.
Yes.
Right.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.